generally just discarded entirely because they typically don't have sufficient capital in order to actually make meaningful passive income, and they would get significantly higher returns on increasing their active income. And virtually every extremely rich person who's self-made, as my asterisk, generally has gigantic active income and only begins to look at passive when they have so much money from reinvesting in their higher return things, which is what got them this very large active income, that they're like, where else should I put it? And then at that point, it's really a question of diversification, which is like, how much more do I not want to double down on the main thing? And that's a completely personal question. And there is no, in my opinion, there's no right answer to that. Because that's a fundamental, like, how much risk do I want to take, which I see is entirely personal. But I'll give you a real example of like an investment I made 5 years ago, which was we did exited the business, and I had more time on my hands, and I was like, okay, well, why don't I just start spending, a couple $1,000,000 a year on making content? Now that had basically zero return in that time period, but if I were to look at the return on capital for that, $2 million a year I did for the first few years compared to today, it was probably the highest return capital that I made. But was that a passive? No, it's definitely not passive. It was 100% active from an investing